What's that?
It's a Ouija board.
Get rid of it. You know, I don't approve of that sort of thing.
I know, but Fiona wanted to get in touch with her husband.
Matthew, no one can do that, not even British Telecom. They'll have to wait. She'll meet him one day in the fullness of time. Until then, she'll have to face the fact that he's dead.
He's not dead, Dad.
And she ought to get on to the co-op. They buried him.
Not the spirit.
The spirit?
His spirit spoke to us through the board. She asked him if he was happy.
Rubbish. What did he say?
He said, "Yef."
Yes.
Well, we got a letter wrong, but you must realise the message is coming from a long way off. Imagine, if you would, the spirit is a very faint transmitter, whilst we are the most primitive of receivers. Now, can you visualise that, Dad?
I'll try, Matthew. And can you transmit messages to him?
Yes.
Well, the next time you're talking to him, tell him he's dead. He obviously hasn't caught on yet.
Don't laugh at things you don't understand, Father.
Laugh? I think it's hilarious. Two grown-up people indulging in this mumbo-jumbo. I understand you've been having a word with Harry, Fiona.
Yes.
Did you say what the weather was like?
No.
Has he made any friends?
He didn't say.
Not even Yeth?
There's no need to mock, Mr. Willows. This is Halloween, the time when the ancients commemorated the dead and the coming of winter, when they prayed for the return of the sun, when the veil between this world and the next is so transparent we can almost see beyond.
Well, that's confirmed what I've always thought.
What?
She's a witch. And you're not much better. I think it's all these videos you've been watching. You've been frightening yourself to death.
No, I haven't.
No? And what about that film, The Shining? Didn't sleep for 3 days after that.
It's not surprising, it was terrible. The father went demented and chased his son with an axe.
What's terrible about that? You see, frightening yourself to death. And not just yourself. When your cousin came to stay, you convinced him the spare room was haunted.
It is. He had a psychic experience.
He had a fit, Matthew. He had to send for the doctor.
And why do you think he had a fit?
Because you leapt out of the cupboard with a torch shining on your face.
Dad, have you ever slept in that room?
No.
Then you haven't experienced the phenomena.
What phenomena?
The room gets colder. There's a strange tapping sound, a sighing and a creaking.
That's not a phenomena. That's the central heating going.
What about the sighing?
That's a wind in the tree outside. It's not a ghost. Ghosts don't haunt a semi-detached.
Ghosts can appear anywhere. I knew a man who was haunted by his own lawnmower.
Matthew, I can assure you there is nothing wrong with that room. Fiona,
Yes, Mr. Willows?
have you noticed anything strange about the spare room?
You mean the evil atmosphere?
Now, you're imagining things, Fiona.
I may have done, but Mrs. Kent certainly didn't.
Mrs. Kent, the medium? That old bat. You brought her here?
I asked her to take a look at the room. She sensed vibrations.
You see?
What vibrations?
Vibrations that seemed to support the rumour.
What rumour?
The rumour that many years ago, a young man fell in love with the daughter of the house and she refused him.
Go on.
And late one night, he stood outside her window and threw stones against the pane, but she wouldn't see him.
The tapping,
And he was very distressed.
the sighing,
The next morning, he was found hanging from the tree.
the creaking.
The tree outside the window?
Yes.
Fiona, I planted that tree.
Oh, perhaps it was another tree.
Yes. And what about the small stone nearby, half buried and inscribed by a cross? Can you explain that?
Yes, that's where we buried the cat.
The cat.
Yes, that was his favourite tree. He used it as a scratching post.
The cat. Did you hear that, Matthew?
Yes, that's very significant.
Why?
Cats are privy to the spirit world. They can see and sense things we can't.
A cat is a well-known familiar.
Who? Tweedles?
Yes.
Well, he's familiar, all right, but I don't think he had psychic powers. Matthew! What are you doing?
Looking for evidence of psychic phenomena. The spirit world is very close tonight.
So you keep telling me, what's all this stuff for?
To detect any invisible movements. If anyone or anything passes through these, they make a noise.
And then what happens, apart from you diving under the bed?
I take a photo.
You're taking photographs of ghosts?
Yes.
What are you doing? group pictures or individual portraits?
I'm serious, Dad.
Well, will they come out?
Possibly. Cameras are very sensitive to psychic disturbance.
You really believe all this, don't you?
Oh, don't lean on the windowsill, Dad. I've put some talcum powder down.
What for?
Footprints.
Ghosts don't leave footprints.
That depends on how substantial the image becomes.
What image? What are you expecting to see?
Well, of course, you gave me the key to it all. I expect to see the cat.
Tweedles?
Yes. Tweedles was taken over by the spirit of the young man, but he never managed to make contact in this world before he died. Was it sudden?
Yeah, he was run over by a dust cart.
Well, that explains it. Now he's restless. He's still trying to reach someone on this side. When he was alive, did he ever get the feeling that he was trying to tell you something?
He always told me when he wanted to go out.
But there were no manifestations.
Not if you let him out.
It's not funny, Dad.
Well, you don't really expect to see Tweedles, do you?
I don't know what I'm going to see. We're dealing with the spirit world. I just hope it's not a poltergeist.
Why?
They can be very violent. You see, poltergeists feed off the energy of the people around them.
Well, you should be safe enough.
No one's safe, Dad. Not with a poltergeist.
No, I suppose not. And I don't blame you for being scared.
Dad, I'm carrying out serious research. What makes you think I'm scared?
You've got your teddy with you.
Yes, well, I found it in the toy cupboard.
Did you? Oh, yes. Yes, I remember you always used to play in here, didn't you? Till you frightened your cousin to death. I remember.
Shh.
What?
A cat.
Of course it's a cat. The cat next door. Well, he's always prowling about, you know that.
How do we know it's the cat next door?
Because the cat next door hasn't been run over by a dust cart.
See it? After all these years, it starts to play. That's psychic energy.
That's vibration, Matthew. The spring hasn't run down.
I think you better leave now, Father. The spirit world needs harmony. It doesn't show itself to people who are sceptical.
No, you need to be flaming gullible.
Mr. Willows, this is Mrs. Kent.
Yes, I know Mrs. Kent. She told fortunes for us at the Bowls Club Fete.
Not only is she an exponent of the crystal ball, she can also do tarot and tea leaves and read minds.
I hope she can't read mine.
Actually, I'm here today in my capacity as a medium. Your son has had a profound psychic experience, Mr. Willows.
Get away.
Told you I'd seen a cat, but you wouldn't believe me. Now, I've got a photograph of it.
You haven't.
Here you are. Now do you believe me?
To tell the truth, it looks more like a glove puppet to me.
Looks nothing like a glove puppet. That's Tweedles.
Tweedles? He's a funny shape.
Of course he's a funny shape. He was run over by a dust cart.
Well, he seems to be waving. I don't remember Tweedles doing that.
He's trying to attract our attention, Mr. Willows. I believe he has a message for us.
From the young man.
That's why we're holding a séance.
A séance? Well, perhaps I can help.
Oh, no.
Oh, why not? He always came to me. I'm sure I can raise him if anyone can.
You may have a point there, Mr. Willows. Perhaps you'd care to join us.
Well, I'll just get rid of my coat.
Matthew, would you dim the lights further? Now we must all concentrate on Tweedles.
Oh, what do we do?
We close our eyes and think very hard of Tweedles.
exciting, isn't it?
Perfectly still, everyone. Tweedles! Are you there? Have you a message for us? Come to us.
Pity we haven't got a tin of cat food.
I feel Tweedle's presence. He is amongst us. Speak to us, Tweedles. He's manifesting himself. I feel him tugging at my sleeve.
It's not that funny.
Isn't it?
You've been laughing for 2 days now.
I'm sorry, the thought of you three staring at that puppet.
It's a very dangerous thing to do, tampering with the paranormal. You could have unleashed forces you don't understand.
With a glove puppet? What do you think we were going to raise, Sooty and Sweep? Look, I was doing you a favour, showing you what a farce it all is. I was only trying to cure you of all this superstition.
You're superstitious.
No, I'm not.
All right, we'll go and cross on the stairs. You hate that, don't you?
Well, I may have a few mild superstitions, but I don't believe in ghosts.
Not now. But what about at midnight? In a crypt?
In a crypt? Well, that wouldn't worry me.
But you don't do it.
No. Well, I mean, I would, but they keep the church door locked these days.
What about the graveyard?
I wouldn't mind the graveyard. It's the living that worry me, not the dead.
Well,
No, the weather's against us.
then what about the old railway station? They say that's haunted.
Who by?
This woman. She lost her son in the Great War. And when she was alive, she always met the last train in the hope he'd return. After her death, her ghost was seen by the booking clerk. Meeting the last train.
Rubbish.
If you think it's rubbish, you go there after midnight and see what happens.
Oh, I'm not trespassing on railway property.
Why not? Won't be doing any harm. Except to your nerves.
There's nothing wrong with my nerves.
Go on then. Do it.
All right, I will. And if I see a ghost, I'll laugh in its face.
I just hope you'll be laughing in the morning.
Don't worry, I will.
Yes, like the man who spent the night in the Chamber of Horrors. He was an old skeptic like you. The next day he emerged cackling and gibbering like a maniac. And that wasn't all. His hair. Hair? White as snow. Overnight. Let's face it, wouldn't take much to turn yours. What do you think, Dad?
Oh, a bit dusty.
Dusty. It's redolent with atmosphere.
I'm not stopping all night, you know, Matthew.
You won't have to. Stay till 1. There should be time enough.
For what?
For the ghost to walk.
You won't frighten me, Matthew. My word, look at these. Come to the Festival of Britain. Good heavens, Algepan. I'd almost forgotten about Algepan. I can't remember whether you rubbed it on or ate it. Or was that viral? Yeah, this brings back memories.
Yes, how many sad farewells and beating hearts has this place seen? How many human tragedies have unfolded here, eh, Dad? Any place should be haunted.
You're wasting your time, Matthew.
Shh. Did you hear something?
No,
I did. Out there on the platform, footsteps.
I didn't hear any footsteps.
I'll take a look.
Matthew, don't start hearing things, for God's sake. If I was of a nervous disposition, which I am not, come to sunny Margate. I did. It rained. Oh, I do like to be beside the seaside. La-la-dum.
The next train's just gone, my God!
Matthew!
Sorry, did I frighten you?
If you're going to play those sort of tricks, you can go home right now.
Don't worry, I'm going.
What?
Well, I'm not supposed to stay, am I?
Well, I don't mind you staying, but as long as you behave yourself.
No. I think I'll see you in the morning. Tell the truth, this place really does give me the creeps. Night, Dad.
Next train's just gone. Oh, Mr. Porter, what can you do? Nothing like singing to raise the spirits. What am I talking about? What time is it? Midnight, the witching hour. It's got colder. This room's definitely got colder. He said a drop in temperature was a sign of... No, it's a sign someone's left the door open.
You all right?
Yes, of course I'm all right. Just wasn't expecting to see you, that's all.
Well, I thought I'd bring you a hot flask. Didn't want you catching a chill.
Oh, thanks. That's very thoughtful of you, Fiona.
That wasn't my only reason for coming.
Yes, well, I don't think we should go into that right now, Fiona.
Well, if you're not interested.
No. On the other hand, I suppose no harm in talking about it.
It's Matthew.
Matthew?
As you know, I always keep an old hat and coat at the house for the more menial jobs. One doesn't want to ruin one's crowning glory in a steamy kitchen, does one?
Well, no.
And today, I was wearing that nice blue skirt with the grey panels. The one that sets me off so. They're all talking about it at the WI. You must have noticed it.
No.
Oh. Well, I went to get the hat and coat from the hall cupboard and they'd gone. Matthew had taken them. They were in his room.
Well, why would Matthew want your clothes? Apart from the obvious reason I don't even contemplate at the moment.
To give you a shock, Mr. Willows. I think you were going to see that ghost tonight.
What? The little toad. Where is he?
Would you like me to stay?
No, that won't be necessary, Fiona. Thank you. I think I can handle this.
Oh, but Mr. Willows...
No, good night, Fiona. Good night. Now, where are you, my little transvestite wart? beside the sea.
Matthew, that got you. That'll teach you to play tricks on people. Touche, Dad. What's the matter? You look as if you've seen a ghost.
I think I just have.
What?
The ghostly figure of a woman on the platform.
You mean you saw a ghost out there?
No, I couldn't have done. Could I?
Good evening, Mr. Willows.
What's she doing here?
I want you to tell her all about it, Dad, in your own words.
No.
Look, you've hardly slept in the last 2 days, twitching and groaning and jumping at every sound. It'll do you good to talk about it.
It's nothing to be ashamed of, Mr. Willows. It's not given to many to see beyond the grave.
I didn't see beyond the grave. I just looked down the platform.
Yes?
Take your time, Dad, in your own words.
I saw something.
Come on, Dad, not just something, the figure of a woman.
All right, I saw the figure of a woman.
Did she speak to you?
No, I didn't give her a chance. Drove her away.
You drove her away.
How? What did you do?
No, nothing. Nothing, really. Just wasn't very sympathetic. Perhaps I imagined the whole thing.
Oh, I doubt that, Mr. Willows. I know you well enough to know that you're not an imaginative man. No, you saw a woman, of that I'm sure. That station is rich in psychic phenomena. In fact, one of our members had a sighting there only last Thursday.
Thursday?
A sighting?
Yes, she was keeping watch on the platform, and she had a similar experience to your father.
You mean she saw the woman?
No, not a woman. The ghost-like figure of a man, gibbering and foaming at the mouth, making animal noises and wild, insane gestures like a soul in torment.
Blimey. What happened?
Well, confronted by a sight so terrible, so evil and malicious, she turned and fled, and even at this moment she is under sedation. We hope when she has recovered to prepare a detailed report. But we digress, Mr. Willows. You were saying?
No, it's not important. Not compared with that.
Oh, but Mr. Willows...
No, I think I prefer it if we let the matter rest, if you don't mind. If I see her again, I'll let you know.
Oh, I hope you will, Mr. Willows.
Yes, of course. Good night, Mrs. Kent.
Crikey. I wish I'd seen it.
What?
The gibbering ghost.
You're looking at me.
What?